Circular flow model shows the possible interaction between two major economic sectors, such as the business and household, through two major markets, such as product market and the resource market. The household consumers are buyers in the product market, but they are the sellers in the resource market, possibly selling their resources, such as labor, capital, land, etc. On the other hand, the business sectors are the sellers in the product market, but they are buyers in resource market to purchase labor, capital, land, etc., going through production process to produce final product. So let's look at the behavior of consumers and household by looking at the behavior of buyers who like to buy, let's say, shoes, such as Gucci shoes. When buyers walk in a store, first thing they do, they will check the price of Gucci shoes, and then the buyer will check its the income, and then if the buyer is smart enough, shop around by comparing price of Nike shoes, and then look into how popular Gucci shoes are among their peer groups, or what's going to happen price of Gucci shoes in near future. All these considers, then a buyer will decide to buy a number of shoes. This is a quite complex decision-making process. To study the behavior of a buyer, let's simplify this decision process. First, by classify those factors a buyer will consider before shopping into two major types. The one, a price factor, such as change of price of Gucci shoes. The second, all the remaining factors as a non-price factors, such as the price of other product or income or taste or price expectation. Then second step, let's assume a ceteris paribus, saying that all these non-price factors stay constant or equal, so we can ignore those non-price factors for a while. Then finally, now we can look into how buyer will decide to buy more or less of the product at the change of only one factor, such as a price change. So definition of demand, simply how a buyer reacts to the change of price of product. So we can construct the demand schedule based upon the behavior of buyer to shopping for product. So let's say top table, consumer choice table. First column shows change of product price. Second column shows a quantity demanded at particular product price. So, for example, consumer choice A means at the price $4 of shoes, a buyer willing to buy 10 pairs. Choice B, when price falling from 4 to 3, willing to buy more than before, now 20 pairs. And C, at the price $2, willing to buy 30 pairs. And D, it's $1, willing to buy 40 pairs. So we can translate these consumer choices into two-dimensional space. The vertical axis represent a product price change in $1, $2, $3, $4 scale, and horizontal axis represent a consumer reaction to purchase a specific amount of shoes at that particular price. So $4, willing to buy 10 pairs. So those are point A, consumer choice, and $3 and willing to buy 20 pairs. That's a choice B. And $2, willing to buy 30 pairs. Choice C. $1, willing to buy 40 pairs. Choice D. So then we can connect those four consumer choices, draw red color schedule. This is a demand schedule, which shows from left to right is a downsloping shape, which means when product price rises from $3 to $4, this buyer willing to buy less from 20 pairs to only 10 pairs by moving consumer choice from point B to point A. When product price falling from $2 to $1 per pair, the buyer willing to buy more than before from 30 pairs now 40 pairs. Consumer choice moving down from C to D on the down sloping demand curve. It clearly shows when product price changes and buyer reaction most likely react in opposite way. When product price rises and buyer willing to buy fewer products. When product price falling, the buyer is willing to buy more than before. So this unique relationship between change of product price and buyer reaction we call the law of demand. As the price of good rises, the quantity demanded of the product falls. As the price of good falls, and corresponding quantity demanded of a good rises. So the buyer willing to buy more at the low price, buyer willing to buy less at the higher price. Why is that? The reason behind that we can explain into two effects. One, income effect. When product price goes up, the purchasing power, your paycheck will shrink. You can afford to buy fewer shoes. The other, substitution effects. When price increase Gucci shoes compared to other, let's say, Nike shoe price, then higher price Gucci shoes make that Gucci shoe price more expensive to Nike shoe price, then consumer willing to switch out the Gucci shoe demand to Nike shoe demand. Then, over time, non-price factors such as a price change of the product, income, or taste, or price expectation eventually will change. Then what's going to happen is demand curve. In conclusion, if these non-price factors change, we expect entire demand curve to shift. Let's begin. When price change of the product, suppose our main product is Gucci butter, then there are two types of other products. One, a substitute, so butter against margarine. According to definition of a substitute product, between butter and margarine, you may need either one because one product can easily replace other product for same needs. The other category of product we call complementary product, butter and bread. According to definition, to complete, for this case, the satisfaction of a lunch, you need two products at the same time because these two products reinforce each other to improve satisfaction of consuming the products. So let's begin. Suppose the price of margarine goes up, and based upon the law of demand, corresponding quantity demand of margarine will fall. Then since you cannot have expensive margarine, you are more likely switch to the butter demand. So butter demand will goes up, not because the price butter down, but same price, the consumer interest has changed to buy more butter. So demand schedule of butter or ships out. On the other hand, the price of bread goes up in complementary product, then corresponding quantity demand for bread will fall. Since you buy less bread, you realize you don't need many butter also. So demand for butter will fall, not because the price of butter goes up. Simply the buy interest changed to demand less butter. So therefore, demand schedule of butter or ships in. The other non-price factor, which is income change. There are two types of product. One, normal good, or you can say superior goods, compared to inferior good. Usually, normal good has a good quality, therefore more expensive. Compared to inferior product is a poor quality, cheaper goods. So if your income goes up, now you can afford to buy more expensive quality product of normal good. So demand for normal good goes up, not because the price change of normal good, but simply you are willing to buy more expensive normal good since you are making more money. So demand of normal good ships out. On the other hand, inferior goods, when income goes up, demand of inferior goods down because you realize you don't have to buy poor quality product at a cheaper price when you are making more money. So actually you can abandon a poor quality product of an inferior product. So demand of inferior product will ships in. Suppose income goes up, the product between superior product like a steak or lobster meal and inferior product like a hot dog, definitely when income goes up, people demand more lobster meal, but demand for hot dog will drop. The other one, taste change. When product becomes popular, demand goes up, so entire demand schedule ships out. Price expectation. You expect the product price will go up soon, then you have to buy now before price becomes high. So current demand will goes up, so entire demand schedule ships out. One more example of a price change of other product between substitutes and complementary product. Let's begin Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola as a soft drink of substitutes. The first schedule shows Coca-Cola demand. So price of Coke goes up. The corresponding quantity demand for Coke will drop. Since you buy less Coke, you realize you need more demand for Pepsi. So Pepsi demand schedule, entire schedule ships out. On the other hand, complementary product between tennis racket and tennis ball. When tennis racket price goes up, then corresponding quantity demand for tennis racket drop, then you realize you don't need many tennis ball, so demand for tennis ball will decrease, shifting entire demand schedule shifts in. So we can finalize the story of demand based upon following the two terms. One, change in demand and change in quantity demanded. Change in quantity demanded represent this second graph. Graph shows consumer choice moving up on the downsloping demand curve due to the product price go up. So change of price go up, then corresponding quantity demand decrease. On the other hand, suppose non-price factors change, such as income change, taste or price of the product, price expectation change, we expect entire demand curve shift. In this case, at the same price, because all these non-price factors change, you are willing to buy more than before, so entire demand schedule shifts out, we simply say increased demand. If demand schedule shifts in, we can say decreased demand. On the other hand, in this second graph, when price go up and there is a decrease of quantity demanded, when product price falling, there will be an increase in quantity demanded. So this is a summary of a story of demand.